Let me ask you something, my friends. Have you ever felt like success is for other people, but not for you? Have you ever wondered why some people rise from nothing and the world remembers their name, while others remain invisible? Have you ever looked at someone great and asked yourself, are they special? Were they born lucky? Why can't I become great too? But here is the real question. What if greatness has nothing to do with luck and everything to do with discipline and heart? Today you will hear the long, emotional, powerful story of a boy born on a tiny island, in a small room, in a poor family, with no money and no advantages, a boy who cried himself to sleep, who left home at 11, who almost died from a heart condition, who trained harder than anyone and who became one of the greatest players to ever walk on earth. This is the story of Cristiano Ronaldo, a story that will teach you English, a story that will inspire you, a story that might change how you see your own life. Let's begin. Part 1: The Humble Beginning. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on February 5, 1985, in a simple hospital on Madeira Island, Portugal. Madeira was beautiful hills, ocean, and sunshine, but his life was not. His family shared a tiny house, 4 siblings sleeping in the same room, with barely enough food for everyone. His mother worked 2 jobs. His father worked at a football club as a kit man, someone who cleaned jerseys and boots. Cristiano remembers days when the family had to choose between paying bills and buying groceries. But even in poverty, Cristiano carried something powerful inside, a love for football so strong that it made him forget hunger, sadness, and fear. He kicked anything he found: a bottle, a sock, a rolled-up paper ball. Football became his escape. Football became his dream. Football became his life. Part 2: The Schoolboy Who Only Wanted Football. Cristiano was not the best student. Teachers said he was distracted. He didn't like to sit still. He didn't want math. He didn't want science. He wanted the ball. But school can be cruel. Kids teased him because he was skinny. They teased him because his family was poor. They teased him because he spoke with a Madeira accent. One day, a teacher insulted his dad. Cristiano exploded. He threw a chair at the teacher. He was punished. He was almost expelled. That day, he made a decision that changed everything. He quit school. He chose football. His mother didn't stop him. She looked at him and said, "If this is your dream, I will support you, but you must give it everything." And he said, "I will." Part 3: The Journey to Lisbon. Cristiano was only 11 years old when Sporting CP invited him to join their youth academy. For most children, 11 is an age of cartoons, toys, school, and friends. But not for Cristiano. At 11 he was already standing at a crossroads between childhood and destiny. Sporting CP was in Lisbon, a big, loud, intimidating city, far away from Madeira, the quiet island where he was born. Madeira was home. It had the ocean, the mountains, the warm air, and, most importantly, his family. Lisbon was different, unknown, strange, scary. Yet Cristiano knew something deep inside his heart. If he stayed in Madeira, his dream might stay small. If he left, his dream might grow. But the price of growth was pain. The night before his journey, Cristiano barely slept. His mother packed his small bag: a few shirts, some socks, and 1 pair of shoes. They didn't have money for more. Cristiano looked around the house, the place where he laughed, where he cried, where he grew up. He hugged his siblings longer than usual. He hugged his mother the longest. She held him tightly and whispered, "My son, if this is your dream, go chase it. You were born for something bigger." He nodded even though tears filled his eyes. The next morning, he boarded a plane, his first flight ever. The moment the engines roared, his heart began to race. He pressed his face against the window and watched Madeira become smaller and smaller and finally disappear under the clouds. It felt like part of him was being left behind. He cried quietly, a silent, scared 11-year-old boy flying toward a future he could not see. He told himself, "Be strong, don't give up." This sentence would become his life's mantra. Lisbon was not like Madeira. It was loud, busy, fast, huge. Cristiano stepped off the plane and looked around feeling like a tiny fish thrown into a massive ocean. Sporting CP's staff picked him up and took him to the academy dormitory. He walked into a room filled with bunk beds, strangers, and cold walls. No mother, no siblings, no comfort, just football boots and boys fighting for the same dream. He placed his small bag on the bed and sat quietly. That night he cried again. But this time nobody came to hold him. For the first few weeks Cristiano felt lost. He ate alone, he trained alone, he cried alone. The other boys teased him, "You're too skinny, you talk funny, you're from the islands, you won't make it here." Cristiano swallowed every insult like poison, but he transformed poison into power. Every word made him stronger. He promised himself, "One day they will know my name." Life at Sporting CP was hard. Training started early. Drills were intense, competition was brutal, but Cristiano trained as if his life depended on it. He ran faster, he pushed harder, he practiced more. When others slept, Cristiano was still outside shooting, dribbling, sprinting, sweating. He was not the biggest, not the strongest, not the most experienced, but he was the hungriest. A coach later said, "Cristiano trained like someone who had nothing and feared losing everything." Some nights, Cristiano would call his mother. He tried to sound strong. He tried to sound happy. But she always knew. She would say, "Cristiano, are you eating? Are you training? Are you strong?" And Cristiano would answer, "Yes, Mom," even when it was a lie. Before ending the call, he always made a promise, "I will make you proud." Those words became the fuel in his blood. As months passed, the loneliness did not disappear, but Cristiano grew stronger. He became faster, more disciplined, more determined. He convinced the coaches. He silenced the bullies. He earned respect. He became the academy's brightest talent. But one day, the biggest challenge of his life arrived. A challenge that almost ended everything. But that, my friends, belongs to the next chapter. Part 4: The heart problem that almost ended everything. At 15, something terrifying happened. During training, Cristiano felt his heart beating too fast, faster than normal, faster than safe. Doctors discovered he had a serious heart condition. The club had two options: retire him, do surgery. If the surgery failed, Cristiano would never play again. But he looked at his mother and said, "Mom, I need to play football. Let them do it." The surgery was done with lasers. It was risky. It was frightening. But Cristiano recovered in days, not weeks, not months, days. And when he returned, he trained even harder. Because now he knew, life can take everything from you in 1 second. Part 5: The breakthrough match that changed his life. August 2003. Sporting CP versus Manchester United. Cristiano was unstoppable. Dribbles, speed, skills, confidence. United players couldn't believe it. After the match, they told their coach, Sir Alex Ferguson, "Boss, we must sign this kid." Days later, Cristiano Ronaldo joined Manchester United for £12.24 million, a record for a teenager. The poor boy from Madeira was now in one of the biggest clubs in the world. Part 6: The transformation into a mental monster. Cristiano Ronaldo arrived at Manchester United at just 18 years old, skinny, nervous, unknown, but carrying a fire inside that no one else could see. Old Trafford, the stadium, the fans, the players, was bigger than anything he had imagined. He wasn't just in a new country, he was in a new universe. The Premier League was faster, stronger, colder, harsher than anything he had ever faced. And the critics were waiting for him. They said, "He's just tricks. He's too skinny. He won't survive England." Cristiano heard every word. He never forgot them. Cristiano had speed. Cristiano had skills. Cristiano had talent. But talent alone means nothing in a world where men twice your size want to knock you to the ground. During training, older players pushed him. They tackled him hard. They laughed when he fell. Some told him directly, "Welcome to England, kid. This isn't Portugal." But Cristiano didn't cry. He didn't complain. He didn't hide. He went home, looked at himself in the mirror, and said, "I will become stronger than all of them." Cristiano started training like he had something to prove. Because he did. He arrived early to the gym before anyone else. He stayed after everyone left. He lifted weights. He sprinted. He trained his core. He strengthened his legs. He transformed his diet. He cut out sugar. He trained his mind. He turned his body from a skinny teenager into a muscular, explosive machine. Within 2 years, he was faster than defenders, stronger than midfielders, and more conditioned than anyone in the league. A teammate once said, "Cristiano trained like a man possessed, as if someone was chasing him." But no one was chasing him. He was chasing greatness. Cristiano didn't only train his body. He trained his mind. He studied his mistakes. He watched his matches repeatedly. He asked senior players for advice. He learned to handle pressure. He learned to silence noise. He learned to ignore critics. Criticism became fuel. Failure became education. Doubt became motivation. He built a mindset so strong that nothing could break it. He once said, "Your love makes me strong, but your hate makes me unstoppable." These were not just words. This was his truth. Cristiano became a mental monster. At the heart of this transformation was one man, Sir Alex Ferguson. He didn't see Cristiano as a skinny boy. He saw him as a diamond. He became a strict coach, a mentor, and even a second father. Ferguson taught Cristiano discipline. He taught him humility. He taught him control. He told him, "Talent is nothing without hard work." Cristiano listened. Cristiano absorbed. Cristiano transformed. Later, Ronaldo said, "Ferguson is the most important man in my career." United played Arsenal. A high-pressure match. A defining moment. Cristiano stepped onto the field with confidence he never had before. He dribbled with purpose. He passed with vision. He sprinted with power. He scored with certainty. The fans felt it. The players felt it. The world felt it. Cristiano was no longer a boy who played football. He was becoming a force of nature. This was the season Cristiano destroyed expectations. He scored from free kicks. He scored from headers. He scored with right foot, left foot, chest, shoulder, anything. He was unstoppable. He scored 42 goals. He won the Premier League. He won the Champions League. He won his first Ballon d'Or. He was now Cristiano Ronaldo CR7. A global phenomenon. A superstar, a warrior, a legend in the making. The skinny boy from Madeira, the kid who cried alone in Lisbon, the teenager who was pushed around, had transformed into one of the strongest athletes on the planet. His secret? Not magic, not luck, not genetics. His secret was this sentence: I train so hard that not being the best becomes impossible. Cristiano Ronaldo was not built by fate. He was built by discipline, by hunger, by obsession. This was the moment the world realized. Cristiano Ronaldo was not human like the rest, he was a mental monster. Part 7: Real Madrid. The making of a legend. Cristiano Ronaldo arrived in Madrid in 2009, and the world felt it. The moment he stepped into the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, 80,000 fans screamed his name. They held Ronaldo shirts, they held banners, they held hope. In that moment, Cristiano realized something. This was the biggest challenge of his life. Manchester United made him a star. Real Madrid would turn him into a legend, but legends are not born easily. They are forged in pressure, in fire, in expectation, and this was the ultimate test. Real Madrid paid €94 million to sign him, a world record at the time. People said the money was too much. They said Cristiano was overrated. They said he would never be as good as he was in England. The Spanish media was harsh, brutal, relentless. Every mistake became a headline, every bad game became a criticism, but Cristiano did not break. He sharpened. He looked at the journalists, the fans, the doubters, and said only one sentence: "Judge me by what I do on the field." Cristiano asked for the number 7 shirt. This was not just a number, it was a throne. It belonged to legends like Raúl, the king of Real Madrid. Taking the number 7 meant carrying history on his back. But Cristiano smiled. He was not here to follow history. He was here to create it. Cristiano's training at Madrid became even more intense. He arrived hours before his teammates. He stayed hours after they left. He trained his body like a scientist builds a machine. Extra sprints, extra gym sessions, extra practice shots, extra free kicks. He trained like a man trying to outrun time. He wanted to be faster, stronger, sharper, better than he was yesterday. A teammate once said, "If you reach the training ground at 6 a.m., Cristiano is already there. If you leave at 9 p.m., Cristiano is still there." This was not hard work. This was obsession. Cristiano scored in his first La Liga game. He scored in his second, then his third, then his fourth. Madrid fans had never seen anything like it. He wasn't just scoring goals. He was breaking records. Left foot, right foot, headers, free kicks, long shots, tapping in, smashing in, creating miracles. He became the most complete attacker in football history. In his first season, he scored 33 goals, but this was just the beginning. At Madrid, Cristiano faced a force that made him even better: Lionel Messi. 2 superheroes, 2 planets, 2 gods of football. Every week, the world asked, who is better, Ronaldo or Messi? This rivalry pushed Cristiano to train harder, focus more, and play beyond human limits. Cristiano once said, "Without rivalry, I am not Cristiano Ronaldo." Messi made Ronaldo better. Ronaldo made Messi better. Together, they created one of the greatest eras in football history. Real Madrid had one dream: La Decima, their 10th Champions League title. 4 years the club failed. They came close but never succeeded. When Cristiano arrived, this became his mission. And in 2014, after years of heartbreak, Real Madrid finally reached the final against Atletico Madrid. Cristiano played with pain, but he refused to give up. In extra time, Madrid won 4-1. Ronaldo scored the final goal and ripped off his shirt in a celebration the world still remembers. He screamed in victory, not for himself, but for the fans, for the badge, for the dream. La Decima was complete. The curse was broken. Cristiano became immortal. Cristiano didn't just score goals, he rewrote history. During his 9 seasons at Madrid, 450 goals in 438 matches. Averaged 50 goals per season for 6 straight years. 4 Champions League titles. 3 Club World Cups. 2 La Liga titles. Countless records. He became Real Madrid's all-time top scorer. The Champions League's all-time top scorer. A 5-time Ballon d'Or winner. Madrid wasn't just a chapter in his career. It was his empire. Cristiano faced countless moments of pain during these years. Injuries, media criticism, pressure from fans, fights with managers, personal tragedies. But every time life pushed him down, he stood up taller. When the world said, "He's finished, he's getting old, he's declining," Cristiano replied with goals, with trophies, with dominance. He refused to lose, he refused to slow down, he refused to stop. In 2018, after 9 years, Cristiano left Real Madrid. The news shocked the world. Fans cried. Players cried. Even Madrid's president cried. Cristiano walked away as the greatest player in the history of the club. As he left, he said, "These were the happiest years of my life." And Madrid whispered back, "Thank you for everything, Cristiano." Real Madrid didn't just change Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo changed Real Madrid. He changed football. He changed history. At Madrid, he wasn't chasing greatness. He became greatness. This was the era that turned a boy from Madeira into a global icon, a phenomenon, a legend etched in the memory of the world. Part 8. The Tragedies and Personal Pain. Cristiano loved his father deeply, but his father struggled with alcoholism. In 2005, when Cristiano was only 20, his father died. Cristiano was heartbroken. He cried alone. He wished he could have helped him. Years later, his mother fought cancer twice. He was worried, he was afraid, but he continued playing because football was the only place he could breathe freely. Cristiano learned something powerful. Pain is a teacher. It makes the strong stronger. Part 9, 2016 Euro. The moment that defined a nation. Football is not just a sport in Portugal. It is hope, it is identity, it is a heartbeat. For years Portugal came close to greatness, but always fell short. Finals lost, dreams broken, hearts shattered. The world respected Portugal, but they did not fear them. And Cristiano Ronaldo felt this pain more deeply than anyone. He remembered 2004. He remembered crying on the field as Portugal lost the Euro final in front of their own fans. That night, a teenage Cristiano made a silent promise. One day, I will bring a trophy to my country. In 2016, he got his chance. Portugal started the tournament terribly. They didn't win a single match in the group stage. They tied every game. Critics mocked them. Portugal is lucky. Portugal doesn't deserve to be here. Cristiano is finished. But Portugal kept surviving. Match after match, Cristiano kept pushing, shouting, guiding, inspiring. Portugal reached the final against France, the home team, the favorites, the giants. France had beaten Germany. France had beaten world-class teams. France had the crowd. Portugal had one thing: Cristiano Ronaldo. July 10, 2016. Stade de France. More than 75,000 fans. Portugal walked onto the field wearing their red and green, carrying the weight of a nation. Cristiano looked around the stadium, the lights, the noise, the pressure, and whispered to himself, "This is the moment." The whistle blew, the match began, Cristiano touched the ball, and immediately, France attacked him. In the 8th minute, a brutal tackle by France's Payet hit Cristiano's knee. He fell. He grabbed his leg. He tried to stand. He tried to run, but he couldn't. He fell again. Pain shot through his leg. Tears filled his eyes. He knew something was wrong. He begged the medic, "Just tape it. I can play. Don't take me off. Not today. Not now." He tried one more time. He ran a few steps and collapsed. At that moment, Cristiano Ronaldo, the strongest man on the field, broke down in tears. The world watched as he cried on the grass, his dreams slipping away. A butterfly landed on his face. An image that became iconic, fragile, beautiful, heartbreaking. The stretcher came. Cristiano held his head. He whispered to his teammates, "Win this for me." And then, he was gone. Portugal lost their captain, their star, their leader. Many believed it was over. But something unexpected happened. Cristiano refused to sit still in the locker room. He limped back to the bench, his knee wrapped, his body broken, but his spirit burning. He stood next to the coach, shouting instructions, pointing, guiding, screaming. It didn't matter that he couldn't run. His heart was still fighting. He shouted at João Moutinho, "Take the penalty. You can do it." He shouted at the defenders, "Stay focused. Don't let France score." He shouted at his team, "Push. Believe. Fight." He was no longer a player, he was a general, a leader, a lion. One teammate later said, "It felt like Cristiano was inside every one of us." In extra time, a moment happened that the world still talks about. Eder, a player few expected to be a hero, received the ball outside the box. Cristiano shouted from the sideline, "Shoot! Shoot!" Eder shot. The stadium froze. The ball flew, curved, and hit the back of the net. Goal. Portugal 1. France 0. The impossible had happened. Portugal led, Portugal believed, Portugal fought with everything they had. Minutes felt like hours. France attacked desperately, Portugal defended like warriors, and then, the final whistle blew. The stadium exploded, players cried, fans collapsed in joy. History was rewritten. Portugal, the team nobody believed in, were champions. And Cristiano Ronaldo, injured, in tears, walked onto the field limping. But he walked onto it as a champion. He lifted the trophy, his hands shaking, his face shining with tears. He did it. He kept his promise from 2004. He brought a trophy home. He whispered to himself, "This is for my country." This moment was bigger than football, it was bigger than Cristiano, it was bigger than Portugal. It was proof that leadership isn't only about scoring. Greatness isn't only about strength. Courage isn't only about being on the field. Cristiano taught the world that day. A true leader fights, even when he cannot stand. This was the moment that defined Cristiano Ronaldo. The moment that defined Portugal. The moment that defined a nation's spirit. Part 10. Juventus, Manchester United return and Al Nassr. After conquering Spain, after becoming a legend at Real Madrid, after breaking records that seemed impossible, Cristiano Ronaldo stood at another crossroads. He had conquered Europe again and again. But Cristiano is not a man who gets comfortable. He is a man who seeks new mountains, new battles, new challenges, new history. In 2018 he shocked the world. The King of Madrid walked away, and the world asked, "Why leave the kingdom you built?" Because Cristiano never stops. He moves toward fire, not comfort, toward challenge, not safety. Cristiano Ronaldo joined Juventus for €100 million, one of the biggest transfers in Italian history. He arrived in Turin not as a young star, not as a rising talent, but as a fully formed global legend. And yet, he trained as if he had everything to prove. The Juventus medical team couldn't believe their eyes. Cristiano's body fat percentage was lower than players 10 years younger. His sprint speed was still among the fastest in Europe. His stamina unmatched. He passed the medical tests like an athlete in his early 20s. One doctor said, "He is a machine disguised as a human." Cristiano's arrival changed everything. Ticket sales exploded, merchandise sold out, stadiums filled like never before. TV ratings skyrocketed, but Cristiano didn't come for fame, he came for victory. In Italy, defenders are strong. The league is tactical, goals are harder to score, but Cristiano adapted. He adjusted his style, he studied the league like a scientist studies a problem. And he delivered. 2 Serie A titles. Supercoppa Italiana. Top scorer awards. He scored every type of goal: headers, long shots, volleys, penalties, bicycle kicks. One of the most iconic was the goal against Sampdoria when Cristiano jumped 2.56 meters high, hanging in the air like a superhero. Commentators said, "He defies gravity." This was not luck, this was discipline. But the moment that defined his Juventus era came in 2019. Juventus lost 2-0 in the first leg versus Atletico Madrid. Fans were hopeless. Critics laughed. Ronaldo is finished. Juventus wasted their money. He's too old. Cristiano stayed silent. But before the second leg, he said one sentence: "This is why Juventus signed me." And then he stepped onto the field like a man on a mission. He scored one goal, then another, then a third. A hat-trick that shocked the world. Juventus won 3-0. They advanced, and Cristiano walked off the field with his fist raised high. A reminder to the world, I'm still here. Despite his success, Juventus struggled as a team. Management changed, coaches changed, the squad changed. Cristiano felt the hunger fading, the ambition weakening, and Cristiano cannot survive in a place without fire. So in 2021 he made another shocking decision. He left Juventus. And he returned to where it all began. August 2021. The football world exploded. Cristiano Ronaldo returned to Manchester United 12 years after leaving. It felt like a movie. The prodigal son returns home. The king returns to his castle. Fans cried. Old Trafford roared. The internet broke. Cristiano scored twice on his debut. He lifted the stadium with his energy. He inspired younger players. But behind the applause, something was wrong. The club was disorganized. The team lacked leadership. Management was weak. The project had no direction. Cristiano scored goals, many goals, but football is not just goals. It is structure, it is teamwork. Cristiano's hunger did not match the club's ambition. He began to feel something he hated: stagnation, wasted potential, broken promises. Then came the public conflicts, the criticism, the tension. Cristiano was no longer in a place where he could be himself, and the world judged him without understanding the truth. He left because he refuses to shrink to fit others. In 2023, Cristiano made another decision that shocked the world. He joined Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. Critics mocked him. He went for money. He is finished. He ran away from Europe. But Cristiano knew something they didn't. He wasn't entering a smaller league. He was entering a new future. Saudi Arabia wanted to grow. They wanted to change football. They wanted global attention. Cristiano brought all of that in one moment. The league transformed overnight. Stadiums sold out. International broadcasting expanded. Sponsors poured in. Top players started joining. Football in the Middle East changed forever. Cristiano wasn't following the game. He was leading it. He helped build a bridge between Europe and the Middle East. He inspired millions of new fans. He elevated an entire region. This wasn't a step down. This was a step forward into a new world. Cristiano dominates even here. Top scorer, record goals, endless impact at 38, 39, 40. He still runs, he still fights, he still wins. Because his age may rise, but his hunger never falls. Cristiano's journey after Real Madrid teaches us something powerful. Greatness is not about where you play. Greatness is about who you become. Cristiano showed the world. You can leave your comfort zone. You can start again at any age. You can choose new challenges without fear. You can lead even when people criticize you. You can reinvent yourself again and again. Cristiano Ronaldo is not finished. He is evolving, he is growing, he is writing a new chapter. A chapter that belongs not to a club, not to a country, but to the world. Part 11. His legacy. Cristiano Ronaldo is not just a footballer. He is a symbol. He teaches us. Number 1. You can be born poor and still become great. Number 2. You can be doubted and still prove everyone wrong. Number 3. You can fall and still rise higher. Ending message. Friends, before this video ends, take a moment to breathe and look back at the journey you just heard. A journey that began in a small room in Madeira. A journey filled with tears, sacrifice, hunger, and pain. A journey of a boy who had nothing except a dream and a fire in his heart. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't become great because he was lucky. He became great because he chose to refuse every excuse, every limitation, every obstacle. His story tells you something important, something many people forget. Your beginning does not decide your ending. Your choices do. You don't need a perfect life to chase a perfect dream. You don't need permission to build the future you want. You don't need talent if you're willing to outwork everyone else. Cristiano's legacy is not just his goals. It is the message he leaves behind. Work when others rest. Believe when others doubt. Rise when others fall. Dream when others fear. And remember this. If a boy with worn-out shoes from a tiny island can rise to the biggest stadiums in the world, why not you? Your dream is waiting. Your story is unwritten. Your moment is coming. Don't give up. Don't slow down. Don't settle. Stand tall, move forward, and become the greatest version of yourself. Because one day, someone will tell your story the same way we told his. Stay strong, my friends. Stay focused. Stay hungry. Your legend starts now.